Hi everyone, welcome to SWK522. My name is Brad Lynn. I am your instructor. You may have seen my name listed somewhere as Braden, but I go by Brad. You're welcome to call me Brad. Dr. Lynn is fine if you prefer something a little bit more formal, but Brad is perfectly fine. So let me tell you what we're going to do in this short video. I'm just going to talk about office hours real quick, and then just mention a few things about our course. We'll review the syllabus real quick in Moodle, and then just close with a few big ideas about our course. So this course is a hybrid. I'll explain what that means on the next page. Since we only see each other 4 times, we have to handle office hours a little bit differently. So I have what I call sort of a virtual open door office policy. You're welcome to call my cell phone. Number is listed there. It's also on the syllabus, and it's also on Moodle. You're welcome to call from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. 7 days a week. I will answer if I am able to. If I don't answer, it's because I'm in another class, I'm in a meeting, or something like that. Leave a message. I will call you back. If I don't get a message, I typically don't call the number back. Only because I seem to be getting a lot of spam phone calls recently. I know a lot of people are, and I don't want to inadvertently call a spam number back. I typically am able to return phone calls in the same business day. Occasionally, it's the next day. I usually don't call after 9 p.m. I know people have, I know students have little ones, or you know. Have their own sleep schedules, that kind of thing, so I don't want to wake anyone up. So if you call pretty, in the evening, there may be a chance that I'm calling back the next day. You're also welcome to email. I check my email at least once a day and at least once on the weekend. I would say most of the time I check it a bunch of times a day, and I check it a couple of times on the weekends. We also can talk before or after our seated sessions. Again, more information on that in the next slide. The one thing I would ask is that you don't text, and the reason for that is texting is something we do with our friends, it's something we do with our family members. It's not really a sort of professional form of communication, so phone calls and emails are the much more professional forms of communication, so my preference would be to stick with that, since part of our job here in graduate school is to cultivate sort of a professional identity. So a few things to know about our course. This course is a hybrid. That means it's a combination of online and seated. Our seated sessions, I think it works out to be the first Saturday of every month. So September 7th, October 5th, November 2nd, and then December 7th. We meet from 1 to 4, and we'll be in the QCA Commons building, room 252. It's up on the 2nd floor. I think the nice thing about the hybrid course is that it offers the sort of flexibility and individuality of an online course, but has the benefit of some face-to-face time as well. So I think it offers the best of both worlds. The thing that you need to be careful about is not falling behind, since the semester moves quickly. We have a lot of information to cover. The information moves quickly. So if you feel like you're struggling with time management or staying on track or something like that, that's something we should talk about. So a week in the course runs from Monday to Sunday. So new content will open up Monday morning. I have it set to open up, Monday at midnight, and then our assignments typically are due Sunday at the very end of the day, 11:59 p.m. You can hand them in early if you want, but you certainly don't have to. Again, 11:59 is sort of when they're due. Each week, all of the content is on Moodle. I'm going to show you Moodle here in a second. The only thing that's not on there, obviously, is the reading in the textbook. That's in your textbook. So what you can expect each week is reading, a video lecture from me, and then in some weeks you'll be working on other assignments like the tests or the presentation or the paper in this class. So I'm going to pause the video real quick. I'm just going to switch over to the syllabus. We'll talk through a few things. Okay, so this is our syllabus. Make sure you have the most recent version. When they create the Moodle shell for me, it uploads an old version, which isn't accurate. You'll know if you have the most recent version because it'll say Fall 2019 in the title, and then my information and our course information will be up here. So there's my information again, email, phone number, dates of our seated sessions, so on and so forth. These are all things I'm going to let you read. It's a good idea to read your syllabi, since there are things in there that your instructors will expect you to know. Here's the assignments. We'll talk about these more in our first seated session, but there's 100 points, 30 points for the paper. There's a midterm and a final, which together are 45% of the grade, or 45 points. There's a presentation that we'll do on the very last day of class, which is December 7th. That's 20%, and then course participation 5%. So here's our schedule. So each week, what I've listed is the Monday, or the sort of the day that the content will open. Now you'll notice in the second week right away I've listed 2 days, and that's because September 2nd is Labor Day. So you can take Labor Day off. I don't expect you to do anything. The content will open. If you need to get some work done that day, that's fine, but I don't expect you to. So we can start the second week of the course on Tuesday, September 3rd, if you want. So this is, like I said, this is the day the content opens in this column. This is what we're covering, and then this is the reading assignments are over here. And already I'm finding a mistake on the syllabus. There is no discussion board, so you can ignore that for now. So as you can see, we move pretty quickly. The midterm exam is scheduled after the first 7 weeks. We'll talk about the content and format of the exam during our first seated session. But the thing I want to emphasize about the midterm exam is that this is actually after our second seated session. So we've got time to review all of the content that will be covered on the midterm exam in both our September and October sessions. So that works to your advantage, because you'll be well prepared for the exam. Then there's really just like 4 more weeks of information, 4 or 5 more weeks depending on how you look at it, before the break, which is for Thanksgiving, and then that last week of class you have a chance to prepare your presentations and final papers, and then the final exam will do that second week of December in there. So the appendices here list all of the things that you're graded on: class participation, the 2 exams, the lit review paper, and then the presentation. And of course, we will review these things in our seated sessions as well. So I'm going to pause real quick and switch it over to Moodle just so we can talk through that real quick. Okay, so this is obviously what Moodle looks like. We're 522 section 4. My view might look this view might look slightly different, only because I have the instructor view. I can get rid of that. But it should look the same for the most part. So course start date, Monday the 26th, goes through December. Again, my information, our seated session, the location, so on and so forth. And then what you can see here is there are folders for each week of the course, and this what this available means is that that's when the course that's when the folder is set to open. Again, this second week, because it is Labor Day, the materials will open on that Monday, but you're welcome to take that Monday off. In fact, I'd encourage you to take that Monday off. So I've listed the 3rd as the official start date there. But so everything you need is always in here. This is the syllabus. Make sure you have this most recent version of the syllabus. That's what we were just looking at. This is a link to the plagiarism tutorial for this week. More on that just a second. This is a lecture in 2 parts from me, and then slides that accompany that. So again, the only thing that isn't in the content each week on Moodle is the textbook reading. That's obviously in your textbook, but anything else that you need is always in Moodle. I'll put a assignment submission folders, that kind of thing in here. If we read any articles, I'll put them in here as well. So yeah, all right, I'm going to pause and just switch back to the PowerPoint slides, and then we'll finish up. So let me just advance this. So a few big ideas. Let me tell you what we're doing in this course. This is about research methods, and social work really is a research-oriented profession. We've had to become research-oriented in really the past 30 or 40 years or so, as people have increasingly held us responsible for our intervention. So we need to demonstrate to people what it is that what it is we're doing has some success. That's called accountability. So we're one of the accountable professions, just like medicine has become an accountable profession, nursing has become an accountable profession, all of the other mental health disciplines have become accountable. And the way that we know things work really is through research. So let me tell you what the goal of this course is. The goal, well, first I'll tell you what the goal is not. So the goal is not for you to become a researcher. If you want to become a researcher, that's what the PhD is for. PhDs take several years to do, and the bulk of that time is really spent learning how to do research well. We certainly don't expect people to become competent and capable researchers in a single semester of study. That's not what the MSW is for. The MSW is a clinical degree. If you're interested in a PhD, we can talk. Let me know, give me a call, shoot me an email. We can talk about what that process looks like. But what's the goal of this course? The goal is for you to learn how to appraise research. The goal is for you to learn how to distinguish good research from research that's not so good. The other goal really is for you to determine what would make a study more rigorous. And when we talk about sort of the individual components of research, you'll understand sort of which components are more rigorous than others. And that'll be sort of part of what the exams and things like that are about. So the goal really here is for you to learn how to appraise research and to learn about what would make research more rigorous. And then, of course, the secondary goal is to help you prepare for the capstone that comes at the end of your graduate program. So, tasks for this week: take a look at the syllabus, read it all the way through. Chapters 1 and 10 are what's assigned in the text, and then complete the plagiarism tutorial. Again, I know there was something about discussions on the syllabus. That's a mistake. There are no discussions. If you need to, you can mark down the days of our seated sessions and calendars, whatever else you need to do, and feel free to get in touch with me if you have questions. Lastly, let me say welcome to Research Methods. Welcome to 522. I'm excited about our work together. This is a fun course. We get to learn about topics that are interesting to us and share that information to each other. So I'm excited to get to know you and excited to work together this semester. I will see you that first Saturday in September for our seated session. All right, thank you.